Ah, this issue of local government, I'm afraid we are on our road to the Hitler's. Hitler is the chancellor of the German historical dictator. He is the narrator of the Jewish. Unfortunately, somebody is playing on our emotions. That's what I see playing out here. Okay. The governors are not allowing the local government areas to develop because they are seizing their federally allocated funds and stealing it. That's what we get. Therefore, the local government areas should be funded directly from the federation. A lot of people are not seeing the larger picture, apart from the fact that it is fundamentally wrong to treat the local government areas as the third tier of government. No, it is not. In a federalism, it is the states, the region or the provinces that come together and enter into a kind of MOU with a central authority, donating part of their powers, that is, functions that is better performed by a central authority. Oh, for instance, the defense of the geographical territory that binds all these states together, foreign trade, so that you don't have a multiplicity of agreement within the same geographical space. External affairs, that is foreign relations, who comes into where, that is immigration, custom in the borders created. In fact, in a federalism, all these items are listed as being exclusive to the federal authority, and all residual powers are reverted to the region, province, or state, whichever one is the federating unit. It is this federating unit that has the authority, the power to create the number of local governments if it thinks it desirable for purely administrative convenience. Not the federal government. Of course, we have been so unlucky that we had successive military administration, members of the Supreme Military Council, creating every town, every village, because each of them wanted to have a local government headquarters. And primarily, the essential thing for them was to be able to access the oil money from this that's accrued to the federation accounts. Nothing more. Whether they could perform, whether they are viable, was never part of the thinking. And if you look at it, there's a loopsidedness in the very creation, so much that you have many local government areas in the far north. And I'm sorry to say, we're talking about a region that contributes almost nothing, definitely no more than 10% of what is agreeable to the federation account. Even activities in which they partake and in which they share from the VAT money, like alcohol, they are better at destroying this under the pretext of the fact that, oh, they run the Sharia religious regime, therefore all those things are not permitted. But unfortunately, hypocritically, they share part of the money that comes from that money from Lagos and all the other states in the. Well, a lot of people are not seeing the fact that those local governments will eventually become liaison officers to the federal government if the so-called autonomy is granted as it is being demanded. I mean, look at what happened to Lagos. Even before we get to that, to see that it is naive for states or anybody in the south to think that the autonomy of local government pays, I mean, it's in its own interest. No, it is not. Lagos State and Kano were 20 local governments apiece in 1967. Today, look, Kano has been split into Jigawa and Kano states, and between them, I think they have 77 local government areas, and they're all drawing funds from the same federation account, and they are not federating units. We're also forgetting the fact that local government areas constitute part of the conditions for federal constituency. So by the injustice meted in the lopsidedness of creation of local governments in the north, we have more representatives in the the National Assembly, to the extent that they can veto anything that comes from the south, can be vetoed conveniently. I mean, the unfairness there is in Bayelsa states, Bayelsa State in particular, with how many local governments? I don't know how many they have, maybe about 3. Yet the bulk of the oil money comes from that region, with all its devastating consequences of oil spill and so many other things. You see, those clamoring for the autonomy of local government do not wish any of us well. I wonder what would have happened if the local government autonomy has been in place when they were pushing for Ruga, which will now allow the federal authority to take possession of lands deemed to be maybe about 100 meters away from ancestral rivers, which was meant to resettle the herdsmen. Yes, you may say that the present administration, the president is not looking in that direction of being able to settle Ruga, but he has more motive. He wants to create liaison officers by defangling the state governors ahead of 2027, where the local government areas will be his mobilizing regime. That's what the guy is doing, nothing more. Of course, how many local government areas with the autonomy to allocate land in its areas, because they are part of the land use decree, that's a section that is deemed rural areas that is in the hand of local government authority, which they may not be able to simply give out without the consent of their state governors who are in charge of the state generally. I don't know how any local government would have resisted Obasanjo when Obasanjo tampered with local government funds that was in his care. Lagos State, regrettably, the president that is now pushing this so-called autonomy was the governor that went to the Supreme Court to seek for the determination whether the president had the power to withdraw his funds. Yes, the judgment went the way of, it was a split decision in terms of the fact that the state has the power to create local government. That's what it should be in a proper federation. But the fact that those local governments already created are part of the constitution as an appendix or whatever, the Lagos State governor then would have to seek the concurrent of National Assembly to get those local governments created to be valid, to be part of the Nigerian recognition. Unfortunately, we know that was not going to be possible. That was when they were turning to some administrative section of the state. There was no, I don't see local government being able to resist the federal authority if the funds were to be withdrawn or to be withheld for whatever reason. And don't also, we shouldn't forget the fact that Omowa, quote and unquote, is going to remain as the president of the country for life. So if he was not even going to go the way of seizing your lands, seizing the lands in the south, west, I mean, let me be very specific, for the establishment of Ruga territory where Wari planned to settle those foreign herdsmen that came all the way from everywhere, and which was constituting a lot of nations in the north, and they were even as at that time they were even here to come towards the south, but now they're here. So part of the solution would be, oh, let local government give out land so that they could resettle them there, and local government would easily do that because the federal government has their balls. But Tinubu is trying to create troops to mobilize for him the required voters in those local government, dangling the allocations before them. By then, the state governors will have been sidelined in the whole affairs. Well, let us see the way it goes, but I am afraid if they get away with it and they get away with the INEC organizing all the elections, you can be sure that the power at the center, the party at the center will always control most of the local governments, and here welcome absolute dictatorship. Today, yes, every party that holds the state capital also holds the local government. That's the state electoral officer. But creating an old INEC to now organize local government elections shouldn't be the solution to it. We must find a way to solve a problem, not by deepening the problem. Elections being organized by INEC for national and state government. What are the results? Do we have a clean results? So what we now want to do is that, okay, you are cheating in your own end, I am cheating at my own end. No, I now want to seize the power to cheat at your own end. Why don't we look for a way by which we can prevent the kind of circus show that goes on in the name of local government elections at state level? So I then ask again, if we now fund the local government directly, and local governments are also, they are politicians, take it or leave it. It has nothing to do with whether states are holding the funds of local government. It just shows you how uncaring and insensitive we have people running the affairs of this country. Because so long as the fact that the chairman of local governments are also going to be politicians who are also going to run for elections. Now, if they also begins to embezzle the money, and many towns and villages within their areas are not developed, do we again begin to agitate for all towns now, villages, all the ballets should now begin to agitate for collection of their own allocation directly. No, it makes no sense. We are on the road to dictatorship because, I mean, it's surprising that the very president that fought against authoritarianism of a of a president while he was governor is now the one initiating this kind of thing. That should tell us that it is not about the people. It's about his own private, it's a personal interest. Because I do not think it is his party interest. Because his parties also involve people from different parts of the country who are conscious of the consequences of what is coming to them. So I should think I have responded to your question. I'm really afraid where this country may be heading under somebody who thinks power should be grabbed and run with it and run away with it. We witnessed it in the last elections. Yeah, we are now going for broke. Let us seize the whole. We are having a state. We had a state capture, but there was still remnants of resistance in the states, which could be effectively be championed by state governors. But now the state governors have been demobilized. They have been disbanded. They have been rather prostrate in their fears of all the corners of administration in their state, because local governments are the building blocks. I mean, if in my own state, if you remove all the local governments who has direct access to federal funds, where is the governor? Any attempt, there are so many, there are very few things he can. He can tell you, oh, sorry, don't bring your school. I have control over the land in that section. So please, let us be guided, not by emotions. Let us be guided by constitutionalism and the fundamentals involved in federalism. Local government, we should be fighting on how to expunge those local governments that are published in the constitution. We should be fighting to dissolve all of them. If local governments want autonomy, let us dissolve local government areas as they are now. Then let each state, as the federation do this now, go ahead to create the number of local governments they want for administrative purposes. Of course, you have to take cognizance of the funding and ability of each of those local government created. We can then begin to build. We may even then build in the constitution that you are creating them, but if you create them, you will have no power, and you have no power to remove elected officers of local government like councillors or chairman, or dissolve any local government, or run your local government through caretaker committee. Yes, we can have that. But above all, it is the people that that has the power to protect their government, whether at local government level or at state level. They should be self-mobilized. If governors are now stealing funds meant for the local government development, yes, it's true. We have the inner rules, terrible, and so many things that local government should be doing that are not doing. Whose fault is that, please? Don't you have members of those local governments who should be protesting against such? But at that level, party loyalty takes over. If you criticize them, it's a member of the opposition. And you find members of that community that are whose roads are damaged, inaccessible, defending the governor because the governor comes from their party. Are we not here? Were we not here when the chairman of the local government says the allocations were not coming to them. Didn't we see how all other local government chairmen went went to the capital and prostrated to the KBC, apologized on behalf of the person that said it, and then on their own behalf. And what happens? They say, oh, they got their money. I wonder why residents of those other local government areas did not begin to ask the local government who said that they were getting the allocations. Okay, what happened to them? That what happened to our allocations? Our roads still remain what they were when one of you went to wrote a letter to the FCC and to some leaders of your party. So it is the people themselves that are they are no victims of this underdevelopment. No, they are not victims. Anybody who thinks that they are victims is missing the argument. They are accomplices in the development of underdevelopment that happens in their local governments. By the way, if you are saying because local government areas are not getting their fund directly, okay, how about those funds that are given to the governors? What are they? What have they done with them? And how about the funds that is accruing to the federal government from the federation accounts? What have they done with them? With such funds over the years? Our highways are not safe. Our security architecture is nothing to write home about. Where are the infrastructures? Check Lagos to Abeokuta. The road is collapsed. How many years did it take them to do Lagos Ibadan? Yet you can't really say that road is completed because that's not the way standard roads are made. I've not been to other parts of the country. I can only speak areas I know. Papa to interchange, so that at least to get you to Shagamu, and if you cross over to the other side to Ilaro. What has happened to those roads? These are federal roads. Okay, who should allocate money? Where should we allocate our money to? If you are saying, oh, federal local governments are not getting their entitlements from the states, so we are going to fund the states directly. People should ask, how about the states that are getting their own directly? What are they done with it? So I assure you, if the local governments are also funded from the same mindset, from the same characters, charlatans in power, getting their funds directly, they will also they will begin another line of. Honestly, one is a bit tired of commenting about this country. I don't know. It's so dispiriting that we can't see fundamental issues. We can't see the crisis ahead. We are so much. Yeah, we can stigmatize the governors. Yes, we can see it. Nothing's are not being done, but it's not so much because funds were not going to the government directly. It is because they are what they are, politicians, insensitive ones, hardly caring about the welfare of the people. And the chairman of the local government will also do the same. And will do worse, or they will be used to perpetuate more injustice to those areas that the federal government are threatening. Thank you.